Greetings, YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about Nick and Norah's Infinite Playlist with Michael Sierra and Kat Dennings, the two people on the cover. This film reminded me a lot of the kind of wacky madcap comedies from the 1930s. The only thing I can think of that was more recent than that kind of felt like it had the same kind of a vibe would have been What's Up Doc with Streisand and Ryan O'Neal. That again, it had that strange adventure feel of mixed with comedy and with unreasonably strange circumstances. But it is extremely entertaining, funny, and overall a very sweet film. It does deal with some adult content. I don't think it's PG-13, could be R, I'm not really sure. I'll have to look that up. But the one thing I had a major problem with is that the people playing the characters don't look their age. Now, Sierra and Dennings, they look like high school students because that is, I think, the age bracket they are. Because Dennings and two of her friends are in Catholic schoolgirl uniforms. So the only thing I can think of is they're supposed to be high school students. Except, other than the two actors I just mentioned, everybody in this film looks like they're in college or older. Not just appearance, but in attitude and behavior, in the inferred background of what they've done in their past. They just seem older. Now, they're not unattractive. Everybody in this movie, for the most part, is nice looking. So that's not the issue. It's just that they didn't seem to be the same age as Sarah and Dennings. Now, one of the things about this movie I have to freely admit I loved is Kat Dennings. I think she's lovely. I have a thing for curvy brunettes. I cannot deny this. And Sarah does a decent job, but he plays the same character in every movie I've ever seen him in. It isn't necessarily a bad thing, because so far he's been able to shoehorn himself into movies that fit that really well. But eventually, he's going to run out of roles that's going to fit. And also, he's eventually going to get older. He's holding on to that youth look, and he could maybe do that for another 5, maybe he's lucky he could go 10 years. Look how long Matthew Broderick looked like he was in college. So he might get lucky. But eventually, he's going to get older, and he's going to have to show the world whether he can actually act. And I'm not sure that he can. So far, he seems to just be playing himself. But it is a fun romp. You enjoy it. There's some decent music. You get the whole indie music thread going on there, which is nice. You get some wonderful shots of New York. New York is one of the characters in this movie, flat out. I listened to the commentary track recently before I did this review, and the director's on there with Sarah Dennings and the actress that played Dennings' character's best friend, and her name escapes me. And the director sounded very young himself. It was almost like they were almost all in the same age bracket. And there definitely wasn't any deference to him as the person in charge. I don't know what it was like on set, but on that commentary track, it very much seemed like he was playing a background role to them. Now, maybe that's his style. I'm not sure. I thought the dynamic was a little strange, however, but that's just me. But I really enjoyed it. There is one inferred sex scene that I thought was a little strange. Not that there's a sex scene. They're young, they're attractive, they're turned on by each other. Got no problem with that. But the implication is that essentially, Sarah performs a sex act on Dennings' character with no foreplay of any kind. Like, the time they had, there wasn't even time for, like, a warm-up kiss. Now, if this was an established relationship, and they've been seeing each other for a while, I could buy that. You know, people in a relationship sometimes do wacky things like that. I've been known to do wacky things like that. But these people met like 3 hours before this sexual encounter. So it just struck me as odd. Not that he would perform this particular act, but that it would just jump right in. There wouldn't be any warm-up. I thought that was a little weird. But I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. I saw it in the theaters, and now I've seen it on DVD, and I'm going to be keeping it in my collection. Um, I thought it was, again, very sweet. It was quite enjoyable. I thought it had a nice positive stance on the gay community. Even threw in some drag queens there if you enjoy drag queens. So overall, I give it a thumbs up. I definitely think that if you enjoy that kind of wacky adventure style humor where people are doing some nutty things in a big city over the course of a single night, this is definitely a film that you will enjoy.